Hi everyone, so I'm going to be showing you some tips and tricks with Lumion, specifically materials in this video. So right now I've got my model placed in. Some of the materials have already been assigned and some other models have been put in. You can see some furniture inside the house as well. But I'll be showing you a couple important areas. So we're going to look at the corrugated roof. So in this case, the default material we have is just a flat surface. We don't have a way to do corrugated steel in Revit without doing a custom sheet pane, which can be difficult when the roofing is an odd shape. So there is a texture we can make with it, so we're going to go into the materials library. In the outdoor section there is a roofing tab. There's also a metals tab, but if you look through these, the roofing is mostly tiles, which iBuild does not provide, and the outdoor metals, they do have some corrugated looking steel. However, there is a pattern look to it. It's not a clean metal. It's got damage to the metal as if it's aged, which is an interesting look, but not what we want on our roofing, so we're not going to use these. We're going to go to the indoor metals section, and these metals are a lot cleaner, shinier, very reflective, so that's a flat aluminium. And we'll look through and find our corrugated steel. So there's three here, four, sorry. Some of them you'll notice the shape. So this is sort of a flat top corrugation. And from our practical list that we've been following, the steel roofing we're using is a circular shaped steel. So not this one. We can look at this one. I believe this is what I like to use. This one here is just a smaller circle, and this one here is not bad either, I don't think, but I'm just going to stick with this one for now. We're going to double click on this material to get our editor open. So the first thing I want to do is change the direction of our vein. So this bottom section here, if it's not visible, you might have to pop it up. And we've got an offset, which is just going to move it around, which in this case there's no significant pattern to this, so we're fine with where it is location-wise. We do want to change the rotation 90 degrees. And yeah, if this dragger is a bit difficult to land on that 90 exactly, you can press and hold shift as you drag this to get a more a finer accuracy with your shifting. And of course this doesn't have to be perfect, but get it fairly close. When it goes over a long distance like this, you'll start to notice small angles, but if it's fairly close it's fine and it's not too big a deal. This is just a detail effect. No one's going to be inspecting it too closely. So that's our corrugated iron look, and it is a flat texture anyway, but it does react to things like the sunlight and our position with respect to the sunlight, so it's a pretty good texture as it is. Now the other thing is this is a reflective metal, and all of our roofing is a color bond color. So these are our colors we can choose from, classic and contemporary range, and I have a PDF as well, which I'll share in the tutorials drive. But this is those same colors, excluding this bottom section here. any of these colors, and we have the color codes. In particular, we want the hex codes, these last codes here. So we're going to pick a color. I might go with Monument down here, this dark blue, grayish blue. So our hex code is 323 233. I'm going to go back to my this is the remote desktop. So to change my color, I'm going to pick a different color here. Now you've potentially had a play with this already. You can see as I change the color, the material is not actually changing. There is a sort of saturation bar here. So the further I go across, the more definitely it is that color that I've chosen. So now you'll see it change. So then from that, it might be a difficult thing for me to find that exact dark blue. So what we do is in our desktop, I'm going to create a text document. That's fine. I don't need it to be anything in particular, just something I can copy some numbers from. So I'm going to open up my hex code again, was 323 233. So then I'm going to copy that number, go back to Lumion, and hovering over this this color palette, I'm going to paste it there, Control V, and it's going to immediately go to the correct color. So this is the monument color that we have, and that way I'm not fiddling around with an almost color. It's definitely something from the practical list. So that would be monument, this one here. So I'm liking that. I do think it was a shiny metal, and if we have a look again at the color bond look, it's more of a matte painted appearance. So we're going to reduce our reflectivity and our gloss down a little bit. Don't worry too much of the appearance in the editor view, because if I save changes here and I go to my photo camera, they generally appear slightly different in the photo edit renders as well. So going back to my build view, so that's the corrugated side. Now my fascias here are bright red from my Revit. That's fine, we're going to change them as well. And I want to get that same color, same material, except not corrugated. So you can make a new material again, but what I like to do is go back to this material, which I have set. I'm going to save this material as a custom material, and I'm going to call it monument color bond corrugated, and save that. So when I've saved it, then in this view here, this last tab here is the custom material. So I've actually got quite a few materials that I've saved. That's fine. So you can come back and access this for any project you're doing as well, as long as you're on the same desktop. So this is my monument corrugated steel material saved. Now if I go to my fascias, I can find that same material, but what I'm going to do, instead of having corrugated fascias, which they're not meant to be, we're going to go into it and we're just going to change the scale, map scale for this material, which is just going to change that image. This image here is our color map, and it's just going to zoom in a lot more, so you don't actually notice any issues with it. But otherwise it's the exact same material, so it's a perfect match with reflectivity as well. The other thing with that, if you had multiple roofs going in different directions, You can change the heading for one of the directions as well, but you would have to have different roof materials set in your Revit model to be able to select two separate roofs. So that's our corrugated iron, and now it looks clean and the correct color. A couple other things with that color mapping. So I have a plaster wall here. This is my wall created from Revit with our cladding in there. So when I've gone to outdoor plasters and I've selected this one. This one here actually has lines for cladding on it already in their pattern. Over here has cladding lines, so we don't want that obviously because we've got our own real ones in. So you can choose any of these, but you'll notice some have quite a lot more texture. You can change this though by just scaling down the map. So that's your texture pattern, and I've just shrunk it down so it looks a bit less large in your face. So just bringing it down, not too fine because you do like to have the details there. So I'm going to have that somewhere like that. And then again, with our practical list, we have some hex codes here for the appropriate cladding colors. This isn't too big a deal. These colors that are already there are not that crazy, so no one's really going to notice, but if you like, you can copy one of these in. So I might try June B1ADA3. I'm going to open this up. B1ADA3. Doesn't really matter about capitals or anything. And then I'll go back into my material editor, choose my color, hover over this and paste it there, and then up my colorization all the way. And there we have our material in. And again, you can save this material if you want, but it's already done all my external walls, so I don't really need to save it for anything. I'm going to save down here all my changes, and so that's the external of the house done. I'm going to go into the bathroom now. So this is our house. This is one of our rooms with an ensuite here. So one thing I'm going to do is make a mirror in the bathroom. So we've got some different types of tiling, which is just an option in the indoor materials section. Tiles, quite a lot of options to go through. But for the mirror, I'm going to show you how I make my mirror material. So we'll start with what it looks like when it comes in. So this is a type of glass. It's just going to do an automatic glass to that, or stick to the default imported material. So we're going to do two things for mirrors. We're going to start by going to a standard material that we're going to make from scratch. There's no map because we want it to be a smooth surface, obviously. We're just going to have full reflectivity and full gloss. And that's all we have to do. And you can save that material as a mirror, which I already have in my custom materials over here. And that's fine. Once you're done, obviously save. Now you can see it is reflecting something, not my house though. My house has no skies of it visible, except maybe through that door over there. So this is okay while building, but when you're taking a rendered photo, you do want it to look a bit nicer than that. So that is the door. It's getting a bit more accurate in here. However, where's the bathroom doorway? Maybe even the reflection of the shower here should be coming through. Things like that. So I'll get to those effects in another video, but this is a basic mirror background for that. That's fine. Other things, I like to keep the bedroom carpets as one of the two black carpets. Most of the other carpets are quite old-fashioned, but you know, find something that looks good, fiddle around with it. The only other thing, yeah, materials are pretty simple. Keep things somewhat normal, not too outrageous. And if you do want to, say, paint one wall bright yellow, maybe make 2 options. You might have to change it back. You might not like how it looks different. Yeah, have a bit of fun customizing the building, but you know, don't go a bit too crazy. I'll be coming back to show you some more with the imported models and then furniture and such as well. So we'll come back.